Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Angelic Alchemy Meenakshi, and I am here today to discuss the current energies that we are personally and collectively going through in the month of February, um, going into March, and the beautiful celestial events that just occurred, the aligning of the 6 planets in January. And we're going to have another celestial event on February 28th of 7 planets aligning once again. And then there's also slated to be a change of the Yuga cycle in March. And I really wanted to talk about that because there were a lot of downloads and messages coming through personally as well as for the collective. And I wanted to bring them forth. So thank you so much for being here. I am a practitioner of Angelic Alchemy Past Life Regression, Angelic Alchemy Reiki, Akashic Records reading, and I am a spiritual mentor as well. I do channel information from my own higher self, my beautiful spirit guides, who are an all-inclusive team of beautiful God source energies, of ascended masters, and gods, goddesses of our universe, as they are all here today in these times to guide our path personally as well as collectively for ascension and for a higher consciousness as we come into merger with Source, as the collective of Earth is going to ascend into a new reality, into where it's needed to be for a very, very long time. You can find out more about me on my website, angelicalchemyholistichealing.com, and I'm here on this channel where I've also, if you go into some of the playlists, there are some self-healing videos available here with Archangel Raphael and a lot of guided meditations as well that can take you into journeying within your soul. And some of what we're going to talk about, if you feel the need to take the aid of a guided meditation to do some of that shadow work, you can feel free to do that. I do have a playlist for that. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram by the same name, Angelic Alchemy, holistichealing.com. Thank you. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about are the dates that we are looking at. We are right now, currently today is February 19th, and we're coming up with the February 22nd portal, which is the 222 portal. And if you extend the last, the year as well, that also has 2 2s within it. So there's a repeat number of angel number 2 in there. And if you look at the portal, it's February 22nd. So that's 22. Number 22 within numerology stands for, it is a master number. And when we see a number 11, number 22, number 33, we don't add them up to shrink them into one individual number. They are master numbers. And within that, number 22 resonates with the energy of a master builder number. What it basically means is that whatever we've been working on, whatever seeds we've sown for, the current times that we are in, they're now about to come into fruition. So if we've done all of the work that we were meant to do, our own inner healings, as well as whatever we were supposed to do for the collective and, our surroundings, and, connected with our guides and worked on all of the milestones that we were supposed to meet as we were on the missions prior to this, we've gone through a phase of the winters coming into spring, which is a beautiful, restful time. And now we're coming into spring in March. So we're coming into fruition of all that we have invested into creating for ourselves as well as for our missions, the collective as well. And number 2 within Vedic astrology actually represents moon as a celestial body that governs number 2, and moon represents emotions and our feminine side. So the collective as well as, personally, we could be at different levels as we are at different levels of consciousnesses, but as a collective as well, we are going through a lot of emotions, a lot of balancing of emotions is required at this time. And number 2 basically helps in that as well. So number 2 also represents healing and a balance. It is a dual number. So it represents the light and dark. It represents the balance of the divine feminine with the divine masculine. It represents the balance of light and dark. It represents basically the yin and yang energies that we carry within ourselves. And this is a beautiful time to actually work with yourselves and work on balancing all of these energies within to come into full union with your higher self, which includes your divine feminine. If you are a divine feminine, the divine feminine is going to actually have a union with the divine masculine if we do this work. And if you are a divine masculine, then you're going to have a union with the divine feminine from within if we do this work of alchemizing anything that is holding back this balance. And the other thing that is coming into healing at this point in the month of February 2025, and we've been working on this all of last year, at least that's been the theme for me in my sessions as well, has been healing of timelines. And as you're aware, we can use various methodologies to basically do that. And the number one way to do that is basically going within yourself and starting to heal the shadows within, and then ask for your higher self and your guides to start showing you other timelines that exist in the universe that could be possibly affecting your current timelines. They could be connected to this particular life, or they could also be somewhere in the universe, in the multiverse, as other parallel timelines. And some of those timelines have now been completely removed if they were artificial and they were not meant to be, and healed if they were organic, but they were, causing trauma, and that version of you needed healing. So a lot of timelines have been healed. Timelines connected to wars have been, it's work in progress. Okay. So what I was getting as a theme for myself was healing of the World War II timelines and all of the atrocities and the genocide that happened then. That also directly connects to the current timelines that we are in, where there is genocide happening of, Palestine and the people of Palestine. So there's been a lot of healing that has gone into what um, caused this ripple effect in a way, because it was stemming from there. That was one of the root causes that it was stemming from. And one of the reasons why I'm talking about this is because today, what we're going to be discussing is, I was talking to the angels and I said, what is the essence of, the collective timings of what the collective is trying to do in these times? And I was, to my surprise, they said something that I was not aware of. And they said spiritual reverse engineering. Okay. And the term sounds very self-explanatory, but I just wanted to understand from them. And then they took me on this beautiful journey to talk about what spiritual reverse engineering means at a personal level and how we're also doing it at a collective level. And I'd love to share that with you at this point. The reason why we're talking about this right now is because, as you're all aware, we were in the Kali Yuga times, which are supposed to be, if you look at the yugas are basically, if I may say, chunks or slates of time, okay, thousands and thousands of years of periods where there is a certain theme that each period carries. And we start with the golden ages, which are the most beautiful, brightest ages when we're connected with God source. We've not lost our memory and we're doing everything as we're meant to do as per, divine, beautiful karma. And then we started descending from those yugas till we came, it's a full circle, till we came down to the Kali Yuga, right at the opposite end of the golden ages. And now that we've touched the Kali Yugas, we've gone through the Kali Yugas, the dark ages, we are now leaving the Kali Yuga behind and we're now ascending out to the higher consciousness so that we can meet the golden ages once again. So we descended from the golden ages and we came to the Kali Yuga, but now the Kali Yuga is ending. Now, there are many theories out there regarding this, but the Kali Yuga is slated to end in the year 2025, which is this year. How important and how blessed are we to be in these times to experience that? So we're coming towards the end of darkness where we couldn't see things and we had no control over the darkness around us, and going into, um, of course, because of the attributes of, all of the beings, all of the souls that have worked on themselves at the consciousness level and expanded their own consciousness and helped the rest of the consciousnesses around them, and the elevation of the frequency of Mother Earth as well, so that we could see ourselves float and sometimes march into the next yuga that is coming up. And this transition period from Kali Yuga to the next period is the Dwapara Yuga, which is basically a lot of technology, but it's not as dark as Kali Yuga used to be. So as we transition from one yuga to the other, it can take a couple of decades to do that. And we are in that transition period right now. And that is one of the reasons while Kali Yuga is meant to be extremely dark, there would be, you can still see the light now, right? So from where I see it, the level of consciousness that has increased, the percentage of consciousness that has increased on Earth individually, as I see it, and people that I know, as well as, as a collective, we've grown leaps and bounds as far as that goes. And while there is a significant amount of darkness, a lot of evil, a lot of corruption still, there's been a dilapidation, a collapse of the dark system through the revelation process that is happening. It's like the source codes that have been coming in with the solar flares and with all the expansions of, our consciousness that has occurred. It has allowed for the veil to grow thinner and for masks to be taken off, for revelations to be apparent to the collective, even the ones that were initially unaware and didn't want to look at things. Now the revelations are so out in the open that one would need to consciously say they don't want to wake up in order to not see it, because it's really in the face. And it's very apparent, and it's beautiful because in 2020, when we started seeing the pandemic as it came in, people started waking up, yet there was a huge amount of collective that didn't see through it and was still in fear. And now, with the changing system and the face of the evil, the corruption showing itself very, directly, they're not even hiding it anymore. The rest of the percentage of the collective that had not seen things yet, they're jumping on board and questioning things as well, questioning theories, questioning events, questioning the happenings that are happening around them. So that is a very powerful indicator of the fact that we are actually moving from the Kali Yuga into the next Yuga, and that now the cycle is going to be an ascending cycle. So where we dropped earlier, now we are going higher and higher, and it's only going to get better. However, this phase of the expansion, and as we're rising as well, is also not going to be the calmest. We will have to work extra hard on ourselves to be able to hold space and balance ourselves, as well as hold space and balance the earth energies and the energies of the collective. For those that are doing the work, are able to do that and are able to also spread that light and that consciousness expansion around them, so more and more people start waking up, because there are still going to be a lot of cataclysmic events occurring, some that are natural and some that are completely unnatural. The unnatural ones, we've seen them as well, and we've seen the collective question it. And it's really beautiful to see all of those posts pull up on Facebook as well, where people are questioning the fires, they're questioning even the earthquakes. Was that really a genuine earthquake, or was that a dump's tunnel being exploded? So there's a lot that is going on. We'll have to keep our eyes, ears open at not just the physical level, but at our third eye, our divine eye. So it's time to actually work on ourselves more and more, so that we can sharpen our skills and clean our heart space, expand that heart space even more, so that our discernment can be even more powerful. This year is also very powerful for expansion of the third eye. If you have to look at a chakra that is going to be very prominent this year, it is going to be the third eye. So that's what I'm getting from my angels, my guides. We're going to experience, if we work on ourselves, an expansion and more clarity in our third eye, our visions, our intuition, our clear cognizance, clear sentience, sense of knowing, sense of sensing things, basically, even before they happen. Stay tuned to it. We can also do this by making an intention that we are balancing our third eye chakra with our heart. Okay, so we can use symbols to do that. You can imagine a fire going from the heart all the way to the third eye, or you can imagine like a infinity symbol between your third eye and your heart, making an intention that while you tap into the organic wisdom and organic intelligence of your mind, of your subconscious mind as well, but you stay centered in your heart, so that whatever you sense, see, feel, know, it first goes through a rain check with your heart, and your heart will tell you if the information coming through is correct or not, if this is true or there's a deception behind it. Okay, there's going to be a lot of unmasking of people, relationships. You'll be able to see, if you really tune into your heart, exactly what people mean, and sentences unsaid, reading between lines. It'll be so apparent. So keep working on yourselves as far as that goes. Now, let's talk about the topic that my guides brought forth for today. It is spiritual reverse engineering of the soul to decode into becoming the true, authentic, organic self that we were always meant to be. Okay. We're going to look at it at an individual level, and then we're going to look at it as to how it ripples out into the collective, because that is the theme that I'm sensing from my own personal experience, from a lot of people that are around me, as well as the information, the wisdom that is coming through the guides, because this is something that I had not thought of discussing today, but the angels basically brought this forth. Now, what this really means is, now if you look at reverse engineering as a process, taking an example of any product, if there's a product that comes into the market, what happens is the competitors go into details trying to examine what that product has that is really clicking with the collective, with the masses, and why they're buying it. So what they do is they start taking the inputs of that system, they start taking it apart to see what's gone in there to make it what it is. And then what they do is they recreate what they feel is a better version of that product. While that is a materialistic example, here's how it applies to our life at a spiritual level. Now, at a spiritual level, our souls came to earth in the golden ages, and we arrived with in all our fineries. And when I say fineries, I mean the fineries of the beauty and cleanliness and purity of our soul, which had just come from source. So it was at the highest level of truth and love, which was just shining through. And that is, and with the fall of the collective from the golden ages into where we have come now, our consciousness dropped. Okay, and we're all aware of that. And we know that the cycle of life and our experience here on earth is all about ascending back to the golden ages of our heart, to the golden ages of our soul, to the golden ages where our soul comes into direct communion with God's source consciousness, where our consciousness becomes so pure and expanded that we are able to merge with source. We are able to feel the unity consciousness and arrive at that point. And that's not the final destination, because we always, our souls, we're always going to keep expanding ourselves and taking more lessons on. But currently, that is what most of us are working on. And now that we have the end goal of what we are here to achieve, which is a high expanded consciousness of our soul, our sense of knowing, our connection with God's source, whoever the God source is for you, whether it is Jesus Christ, Mother Mary, it's Krishna, it's Rama, it's Vishnu, it's anyone else from other religions as well. So as we're going into that level, what we need to do is, this is where we need to be, but we are here. Okay. So what happened between the golden ages to where we are right now that made us what we are currently experiencing? Okay. And what we're going to have to do is, just like we do in past life regressions, we have to look at every habit, every behavior patterns. We have to look at looping patterns. We have to look at cycles. We have to look at choices. We have to look at timelines. We have to look at emotions. We have to look at lifetimes. We have to look at teachings. Every single one of those aspects that have made us what it is today. What were the inputs that came in that created us? Okay. And as you look at them, for example, let's look at, say, emotions. Okay. If there's a certain emotion that you're trying to shake, say it's fear. Okay. What is it that caused your soul to be in so much fear that your consciousness dropped from being in complete love with, the higher consciousness, with source, with unity consciousness, and then dropping down into this frequency of fear, where you've also not just experienced a division within yourself of light and dark, of love and fear, but you've also experienced division with other people that are around you, and where we started seeing ourselves completely separate from them and started judging others for who they are, what their choices are, and going into every single one of them saying, oh, it was this lifetime that caused it. Oh, this is the experience that caused it. Oh, I got influenced here, so now I need to change that and make sure that going forward I don't get influenced by anyone at a at a inverted level. And I use my own heart discernment as against what I was told by someone else, whereas my intuition was saying something else. So that's check. That's a lesson your soul learned, and you send healing to that version of you. And you start mending it. Okay. So pretty much like they were doing it for the product, you're looking at your soul and you're pulling apart aspects of you. Okay, emotions, habits, cycles, patterns. And then you're looking at each one of them in detail, like you're putting a microscope over a grain of rice. And as you start healing yourself at such minute details, your soul will then start mending itself and, remembering the lessons, okay? Your soul's not done anything wrong. These are experiences you were supposed to experience. And you and I are what we are today because of these experiences. So it's not like we're going to say we're going to remove this experience and, as if we never had it. But then you also remove the learnings and the lessons that come from it, right? So we're going to heal it. What we need to do is we need to heal it, unless that experience was actually created in an inverted way, which could be with someone doing like black magic or spells, or something was not meant to be, but because someone interfered with those timelines and those dark ages, those dark times, our own dark energies, if they allowed that kind of experience, that kind of energy, just healing that. Some of them can be removed, but for the most part, we need to heal them and start sending love to them and sealing them back into our soul. And as we do that and we start healing every aspect of us, we start building the new us, the new us that always was meant to be. Okay, so it's not really new. That's who we are. That's who we were meant to be at an organic level, at the codes that we came in with. Okay, and as we do that at an individual level, the collective is also doing it at a collective level. So we are at this moment, if you see around, isn't that what we're doing? We're looking at everything that our collective has gone into. Sometimes you really come under the emotions of what's going on in the world, with the wars, with the genocides, with the rules being thrown in, with sometimes negative governments coming up, whatever that is. And we look at, why did this happen? Why did we choose this? What caused us to choose it? Okay, maybe it was heart discernment, maybe it was fear, maybe it was a pattern that we were continuing to be with, where we thought that an external government, we need to give a power away to something, say the kingdom. We need to give, people thought that they needed to give their power away to someone that's going to rule them. Now it's time to break through, break that slavery bond, break that contract, and say, no, I am my own person. I am my own soul. And I take my direction and guidance directly from God's source, from the ascended masters that I work with, my higher self. And I don't need an in between person, or I don't need an in between monarch or a government telling me what to do. I'm going to decide what I need to do, what is best for me, for my children, for my family. And now people have started examining that and realizing that there was always a choice. But at most times, they thought that they were being forced into it. But even as you notice, for a lot of things, and I'm not going to name some of the things that you can't name on YouTube because then they pull down, whole videos, but things that are given to us by the collective that you've given power to for health and ruling and all of that, they say it is recommended that you do that. Okay, there is no word as mandatory, so we need to find the loopholes, or what it is that we need to do to stand up for ourselves and say, no, by my choice, I'm not willing to take it anymore. And the collective is now doing it at that level. The collective is now questioning it. The collective is now wondering, what did we even do to reach these dark ages? Like, how dark can dark be? How evil can evil be? How corrupt can the systems be? Now that we are here, we cannot just sit and dwindle our thumbs. We need to see what happened that caused these timelines, because we were a part of those choices. We contributed to those choices. We contributed to these timelines with the choices that we made as well, good, bad, ugly. But we've learned our lessons now. So the collective is going back and, thinking, oh, at this point, this is what we chose. Oh, now when it comes up, we want to make sure that we choose wisely. So our collective is also going through this reverse engineering for itself and saying we need to go up to the golden ages and expand our consciousness and arise into the new earth timelines that we talk about into integrations with our higher self and thereby ascend as well. And so that is the period that our collective is going through. And as we went through the beautiful alignment of the planets that happened in January, that was a very powerful celestial event. Personally, for myself, I just felt this need to, just withdraw for myself. And while I was doing my healing sessions, I felt called to just do my own inner work, to stay within and do my shadow work, to build on myself and look at the lessons that I've learned. And have I reached that point, the saturation point of my current mission? It's a question that I put to, my guides, and they actually put that question in my mind, and they said, "Yes, you have, and you need to move on, and there's more to your mission, more to what you're here to do than what you've already done, and it is time now to start adding that." Taking on more responsibility as well. So a lot of us were unable to see the planets align physically because a lot of areas has also had clouds and rain and all of that. But know that you are not limited by your body. Make intentions with your guides, with your higher self, and they will help you also to be able to experience those celestial events and the energy and the frequency for it, no matter where you are. For me personally, we couldn't see the alignment with our eyes, but I did get a dream where I saw myself in the middle of the cosmos and I was not alone. There was a collective in the cosmos, and we could actually see the alignment of those planets with our naked eyes while we were in the cosmos, almost as if we were at the center. And then I could see the alignments of the planets like in an axis almost, and they were at different levels but could see them together. And there were also a lot of beautiful and I'm saying this, positive benevolent spaceships of other beautiful races that were there experiencing it and holding space for us to experience the beautiful magnanimity of the event, the celestial event. It's also coming up now on February 28th. So if you've missed that one, you can set intention to be able to connect with the cosmos and feel the energies directly as we go through this gateway as well. That gateway in January, as this event happened, as we were floating in the sky, in the cosmos, experiencing it, there was a huge portal that went through all of the planets straight into the great grand central sun. And beautiful codes were coming through for activations, for downloads, and for continued missions, continued work here, and energies flowing in to heal us for all those souls that are weary, exhausted, and are losing faith, losing hope in the world, in their life, or losing faith in the collective, on losing faith in what's going to happen. Even if you're holding faith with the last thread, just know that these events are actually perpetuated, have been created by God Source to fill our cup so we can heal, we can expand, we can nurture ourselves so that we can continue this beautiful, I wouldn't call it a marathon, but we're just the movement forward, basically. And while I experienced it, a week or two after that, I also met one of my clients, and she came in and she said, "Minnie, I had a dream about the event," and she said that she could see everything with her naked eye in the sky, and then she also saw the beautiful spaceship. So it was really accurate. And when you come out of such experiences, how you feel and the energy that comes through you and what happens in your life after that is a clear indication of the type of event that we just experienced. And I think it was one of the most beautiful, powerful, fruitful events for our collective. And we are going to see the ripple effect of it on our collective as well. Okay. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about is if you are one of those that was feeling the last bit of the last thread of faith, last thread of hope, feeling like everything around you was collapsing, or, I also met some people that are not exactly on this journey, but they are leading their lives, going to jobs, and some are students even. They went through a lot of panic attacks during this period. And as they went through the healing period, they came out more expanded and more healed and could see their future and could envision where they are heading as a soul. And it's as if someone just breathed in fresh life into them as they connected with their higher self. And know that this is all a part of self healing. And as you're going through this journey, if you are at that point where your soul is weary and tired, and you feel like giving up, and you feel this is it, I'm out, I don't want to do this anymore, please hold on. Please hold on, because the collective of divine beings, our ascended masters, gods, goddesses, and beautiful races out there, the Arcturians, Pleiadians, Andromedans, the Syrians, the Lyrians, they are all here, each one of us, because we are part of their family. They're all rooting for us. And work with your higher self and release whatever is causing you to feel this. And look at your mission at an expanded level. Chances are that you've actually run towards the end of your current mission, because our mission is not a singular mission. We have a multi-dimensional mission. And as we work through our mission, this is another message that was coming for me, January going to February, and I know it's going to spill into March as well. As we go through our mission, there's going to be a time when whatever was meant to be done within it is done and it's complete. And that's when you start feeling like there's a dead end. What are we going to do now? And it feels like I've reached a saturation point. It feels like my soul wants more. My soul wants to contribute more. My soul wants to learn more. But what do I do? And what is the next step for me? So, in between, there's always this phase where they want us to rest, recuperate, gain all of our energy back. And once we've done all of that, they're then able to take us to the next level where we level up and go to the next stage of our work here, of our soul purpose. And I have a video which I had made in the beginning when I started this channel, which said how I found my soul purpose. So that was then in 2018. But from then till now, there's so much that has happened, so many experiences that I've learned, so many teachings that I've gone through, so many lessons that I've learned. Now that all of that was done, I was myself experiencing that, where I felt like there has to be something more. And they said there is. Just rest up, and you will know when you will know. You just have to learn to surrender and then just flow with it. And then after this beautiful event, I finally saw a beautiful dream of my divine guide, one of my main divine guides. It almost felt like I was in heaven, because everything was so beautiful about that place. And he opened the gates for me. There's a beautiful golden brown gate with a beautiful archway. And we were both inside. And then he just opened it and he said, there you go. And I stepped in, and then all I could see was and sense was this beautiful source energy, and I could actually smell it, I could breathe it. It was a different experience altogether. But that's where the dream ended, and the rest is for me to figure out as I go about my life. But one thing that I don't like to do is keep pestering my guides, saying show me, show me, show me now, tell me what it is now. What we need to do is just surrender, because they will give you the information piece by piece. Because then following that, I had another dream weeks down the line, where I was in a classroom, perhaps learning something new. And I was looking at my notebook, my journal, and I was supposed to, take notes, but my journal was complete. Every bit of the paper, every page I went through, it was complete. There was not a single white space left for me to write. And I said, hey, my journal's over. I think I need a new one. And they said, here you go. And they gave me a journal which was white. Okay. It was absolutely new. So that's the next phase. And the next phase, once that is done, there'll be another phase and another phase. That is how we're going to tap into the multi-dimensional aspects of our responsibilities and our soul purpose, our mission here on earth and in the universe. So if you are in that stage right now, I know exactly what you mean. Hold on, just wait there, surrender. Your guides are going to show you soon what you're going to be stepping into. There is going to be an expansion. Just keep working on yourself and never give up on yourself, because the greatest charm, the greatest energy, the greatest alchemy that you bring with you is your soul, is you yourself. And that is your greatest prize, your greatest win. And you have yourself. So hang on to yourself, respect yourself, nourish yourself, and love yourself like you would love another. Give yourself the compassion that you would give another. And that'll help you put one foot forward and keep the movement going until you reach that point when the doors open and there you are in your next phase. And then there's no looking back unless you're coming to heal yourself. for something. So that is what reverse engineering of the soul at a spiritual level means for ourselves individually as a collective. Also, the other thing that is happening, that has been happening between, I felt it happen in 2023 as well, all the way to now, but in the month of February as well, going into March, there is a lot of higher self integration as well as walk ins happening. So watch out for that. But it's again something that, at least the walk ins is not something that we request saying, give me a walk in. I feel that that is something that happens as and when there is time, if because not all souls are meant for that. For the most part, people get higher self integrations, more high as you work on yourself, more high self comes in. And as you shed the fears and the darkness and whatever's holding you back, letting go, then that empty spot is actually filled in with your source code, with your higher self coming in. But at the same time, there is a lot of higher self integration in terms of walk-ins that are happening now on earth, of ascended masters, of divine beings that have been here on earth, and they are directly walking into vessels as well that are ready and that were meant to um, be a vessel to them. Okay. Again, this is something that happens at an individual level, and you will know when that happens because a lot of changes happen in life, from how you physically look at yourself, how you want to, in the physical, how you want to dress up, your choices change. How you make your decision changes. Sometimes the energy of the element that you are changes. So if you were more, a water element, flowing and compassionate, then you also might just get like a fire element come in, and then suddenly you'll be feeling very fiery and feisty. Then you just need to remember to balance that. So, which is again something that you will know, because they never bring us into anything that we cannot come out of or that we cannot handle. And that is a lesson itself, that when we are given a gift, we need to be able to balance that, and we need to be able to carry that forth in a very balanced, heart centered way, because there's a higher purpose to that. Okay. So I just wanted to add that in. I send you all so much love. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to the 222 portal as well as the 228 celestial events that happen. Sending you all so much love, because the light of the love is what heals all of us and heals the collective. My love to all of you. Blessings to all of you. Keep smiling, keep shining, keep being you, because there is no other you.